renewal of mind and reconfiguration of our thoughts that we are able to position ourselves to receive all the blessings that God has set aside for us. For it is not us who are waiting for the blessing, but rather the blessing that is waiting for us to be in the right frame of mind to receive it. I hear a clarion call. It's time to rise and shine. Time to get what's mine. Yeah.
Dai, you family, and welcome to another Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How's everything going? Happy 2023, family. 2, 2, 3, that equals to 7. This is either going to be a year of a quantum leap for you, or you're going to really go down and it will be a year of chaos for you. So make sure that you are on the right side of our story, but that's probably something I can cover in a future episode. A lot of people have been asking me, what should we be expecting in Africa? There's even a group, some African diaspora entrepreneurs who had wanted me to go with them to the African Union conference in February. A lot of people wondering what's going to go on in Africa. Is it another high? Is it another low? What should we be expecting? I've seen all your emails about how they're planning. Africa will be the place where they do the war between the divided states and Russia and everything. They're bringing the war to Africa, blah, 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 blah. There's been so much, family. And, for the revolutionaries out there, for us who are chosen and awake on the motherland, it's not easy, especially with so many people deep asleep. It's hard. And also just with a lot of the levels of ignorance, it can kind of be extremely draining. But there's just a few things that we have to be aware of as a melanated people, as an African continent, as a Kenyan or Nigerian or South African citizen, however you want to put it. And I think the one thing now we should know beyond a shadow of a doubt is that our governments are not in a position to protect us. It doesn't matter who we choose as president. It doesn't matter whether it's the opposition. It doesn't matter whether it's the ruling party. There's even something called controlled opposition. So the enemies of our soul don't play fair. They're not just controlling like one team on the chessboard. They're controlling the chessboard. So they're controlling the black team. They're controlling the white team. They're controlling the rules. They're controlling everything, family. And so we have to just really be aware that we moved from a colonial dispensation where the Mzungu was enslaving, colonizing our minds, to a neo-colonial dispensation where people that looked like I were trained to continue the colonization of our minds, the oppression of our people. They look like us, but they've been cloned into the Mzungu. They almost have more hatred for the poor people that look like them. I'm talking about now the so-called African elites, African Oreos, the petty bourgeois, whatever you want to call them. The celebrities, the ones who have been given those golden tickets to have all this money, but you have money, but you can't talk. And I mean, for us, how it concerns us here on the motherland is that the government can't be trusted to even tell us the truth. The government doesn't belong to us. We are in a neo-colonial order that we have to fix. And we're not going to fix this by trying to elect another leader, because the leader will either be bribed, they'll be compromised, they'll be corrupted. It's not going to work. The system is rigged against us. And so knowing that African governments cannot protect us as their citizens, that means we have to be extremely well informed about every agenda policy that they're signing with Babylon, who are still the ones controlling everything, and the billies of this world who are now trying to take over Africa. We have to really scrutinize and protect our families first and foremost against the double Big Macs of this world, against the food agendas of this world, all of that. We have to be so informed, because a government that we put there to govern the mental and to protect us, they ain't protecting us. So we have to understand Babylon in and out. What is their agenda? What is their new world order? What instruments are they using Because now they're using the World Economic Forum. If you look at the majority of leaders, from the Trudeaus to the Rishi Sunaks to the Sululu Hassans, all have a link to the World Economic Forum. So that's who's coming in now. They're big on this climate change. They're big on trying to now bring synthetic foods to our supermarkets and rolling out these global agendas. COVID was just a test run. So we have to get out of Babylon as much as they are, especially if we're on the motherland. Whatever they control in Babylon, we should try and be as far away from them. And eventually we can create communities, family. Because there's people who are selling thousands of acres where we could come together and literally create our own community. That is something the Mzungus have already done by Mount Zion. And other communities are doing the same. So, I mean, that's the direction we want to be going into. But we have to recognize that it's up to us to be extremely well informed, to protect our family, to stay ahead of the government curve, ahead of the government implementation agenda. And so we have to be connected enough into the global system to see what they're going to try and roll out next, so that we can protect our families, get out of the cities, grow your own food, secure your own water, get your own little piece of land, build a tiny home. These should be your goals. Remember, time is an illusion. So you just write a list of the things that you need to be, to have to be totally free from Babylon, and then take one off at a time. And remember, you start with your mind first. You start with your soul first. You start spiritually. So you are the one now who has to govern your mental, who has to govern your children's mental. As much as possible, family, please try and get your children out of these public schools, or at least get them into these really intimate community schools where you know the teachers, you take cookies to the freaking headmistress, that kind of intimate relationship, because it's a risk. And it was heartbreaking. I think I shared this before, where this lady who works for one of my friends was talking about how her children were given the jibby jab without their consent. And then later I found out it happened because it's a Mzungu-run school and they're given funds for their children to be educated. So they pay very little, and then the rest is covered by foreigners. And they have not been able, and the children are still going to those schools because they need the help for the education. So, I mean, it's just, family, if you're not in these kind of situations, give thanks and praise and ask why. And continue to use the blessings at your disposal, the abundance at your disposal, to liberate you and your family, and just create your own community as Babylon falls and everything happens. Because, people aren't talking about it openly, but Babylon is in a recession now. They avoided a depression by this much, but if you look at what's happening in Europe, people were actually selling their microwaves and their personal belongings in order just to make ends meet. If you look at the divided states, many people didn't celebrate the holidays. I think 70% of the people just couldn't afford to do Thanksgiving or Christmas. And so some very hard times are coming, and they're coming to the consciousness of the people, and you don't want to be part of that consciousness. Because then you won't have your own creative mind at your disposal to give you ideas and solutions and miracles that will help you ride this wave in luxury. So get out of the Babylon system as much as yourself. Create your own ecosystem where you're feeding yourself, you have your health need, you're meeting your health needs by always working on your immunity, you're keeping fit. You're doing all these things, like you're literally just able to take care of yourself fully. And then also move into your assignment. There is so much that needs to be done to awaken our people here on the motherland, family. And in your assignment is also where you'll find your protection. But ask your ancestors how that should be done, how you should be sharing the information, the knowledge you have. It may be in speaking to people, or it may be in creating something that people consume, be it art, be it jewelry, be it food, be whatever. and putting that higher vibration in it, because that will change them and shift them as well. And it may be just in anchoring the space in your small community and starting to do things different, farm different, do this different, do water catchment different, and others will learn. You know, we love to copycat, family. So that's how we teach, by living our best lives in a time when people are literally living their worst lives. And just family, just place the most importance and emphasis on being your best version, being your highest vibrational version, being in peace, being in balance. Make you your priority, because the more you are in balance, the more we balance out the motherland, the more we balance out our group consciousness. The more you are at peace, the more peace spreads across the motherland. The only reason our people are facing starvation right now is because they're spiritually starved, family. Their souls are so hungry that it is manifesting physically, and of course it's being engineered with weather, everything. But you being in your highest vibration all the time is the revolution that Africa needs. That will change the world, family. That will change the motherland. And that's what being encouraged to do before we go out there, like missionaries trying to bring our people back to themselves, remove the spell of religion, the spell of all these kind of, lack of self-love, lack of self-worth, removing all those things from our people. So like being unable to do that on the scale that we would want to, just you being and living your best life and having fun and figuring it out will have the same, if not a bigger impact than you going out there and teaching and preaching. And those who need information, they'll learn from you. Just as they see how you operate, as they see how the ancestors bless you, as they see how the Great Spirit moves with you, as they see how miracles evolve. Because it's funny how magical your life begins when you move into spiritual time, when you move into the new earth. Because now it's the ancestors that will bless you. They'll drop something in your consciousness that will have the power to pull it into your life. They'll tell you, yo, you need 100 acres, and they'll pull that 100 acres into your life. I mean, all kinds of miracles, family. Things that you think are impossible, if you involve your ancestors and you bring a bit of detachment to it, you'll see that it's so easy. Because time is an illusion, so anything you want is available to you. And you are the only one holding yourself up, because you have to complete this so you can complete that. So stop being in this stage of, in a year I'll do this, in 2 years I'll move to the motherland, in 6 months stop planning. That's the Babylon way of doing things. And make it a step by step. First I need to achieve this, then I need to achieve that. Disconnect yourself from the Babylon system, from the Babylon narrative, from the Babylon time, and you'll be helping all of us to disconnect. And that is the greatest lesson I learned in 2022, is that my awakening, my rebalancing is the greatest gift I can give to the world. And it's the greatest gift that you can give to the world too. And it's so much fun, family. Until next time, Tukok Mamoja. And remember, we got this.
I hear a clarion call. It's time to rise and shine. Time to get what's mine, yeah. And I want it all, beyond the riches of the world, to the promises of God for my life.